death and cannot be satisfied. And this goes to the point the brother was making earlier. It says, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And so this is what this whole CBD system is all about. Heaping unto them all nations and all people. It's not about making things better. It's about absolute control. All right.
Yep. Which again, that's why Revelations 13 is so important. All right, because this is the ultimate last tool they're going to use to get that control. That's why they're working on the social credit system. That's why they're trying to make a currency where you can't go outside of their, the parameters to make your own money and thrive by yourself. That's ultimately what they did with all the banks. Operation Choco back in 2013, the whole creation of the FDIC, they're claiming it's to protect, consumer businesses and all that, but really they're taking the control, all right? And like we were discussing, there's really no need for Esau to intervene in companies and banks and things of that nature, man. But that's all, like the brother said, kept back by fraud, man. Like that book, which is here, how the white folk got so rich. The very first page talks about the supremacy. The white supremacy is backed by lies, deception, and lies and deception. But their physical reality is based off of firm economic structure. These topics that they talk about, all the panels about the CBDC, the CHIP, and all that are relevant topics. But really, we know that they have no intention of trying to maneuver.
Make the world a better place.
Right. It is not in our best intention, man. It's not in the best intention of Esau to let the people, just be free and live off the land, live their life the way that we're supposed to. It's about control. All right.
The guy named that you, what would you say, looked like Chris Hansen?
Ron or something? Yeah.
No, Stephen L. Swartz. Randall Quarles is
That's
this
it.
guy.
Yeah, there you go. He was the one that said it, Randall Quarles. Yeah, he said the CBD is going to have a lot of attachments linked to it.
Yeah.
So government intervention, control, and all that. So.
Okay, so yeah, that's it on that.
I got what you said. It says Isaiah 10:1 says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decree, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed." Now, if we look up the decree, all right, decree, Hebrew word hakwat means to cut out, decree, inscribe, set, engrave, portray, and govern. All right, so they basically govern the policies that they're bringing out about the CDBC to incorporate the CHIP. All right.
Right, but it's also unrighteous for you to get involved that way. Because again, that was the fear that they were talking about on the panel. Mm-hmm. The fear was about the government weaponizing this currency, and controlling the lives of the people. All right, because what I'm trying to get real quick, the reward and punishment, if you could read that. These were some of the examples of what the CBD is backed by a social credit system, and they had rewards and punishments for that. So they're going to limit what you can do in society, which we've been telling you that this is coming. We've been telling you that they're going to limit what you can do based off of how you interact with society or your opinions that you have of what's going on.
Yeah, that's what the executive 14067 is about. That you can have total control over all digital assets.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you have control over a digital asset. What that means is you can control how much they're getting paid for their wages, on their weekly wages. You can control how much you can get a month, because it's going to get to a point where now they did the test runs with the what was they giving, the stimulus packages. Mm-hmm. And those stimulus packages is going to come into a play where they're going to give you a certain amount of money a month to live on. Okay. Basic. What is it? Basic income or something like that. Universal basic income. UBIs. So that's what this system is going to be about. Okay. With various of different. See, they got different bullet points for this thing. All right. But the main point of it is controlling all assets, controlling all export transaction. Monetary transactions
They-
is about controlling the market, controlling the system, controlling the money flow.
Freedom.
Yeah,
The central take away
but
freedom.
they did say that they believed that one way to back this currency was gonna be through the social credit. They're gonna control, that's how the money's gonna be backed, or this currency, whatever it's gonna be backed by, behavior. Right, so that, why, when does behavior have to do anything with getting money? Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 20 and 23. It says, diverse weights and are an abomination unto the Lord.
And that goes hand in hand with the unrighteous decree, because you're involving yourself and adding in these extra, this confusion and oppressive behavior that you have no right to be even intervening with, But you're putting out all these topics, all these forums, all right, these summit meetings to talk about, invading, the average civilian's life. It's, that's wrong. That's unrighteous decrees.
And the feds are set up really to protect the privacy of citizens and to protect the borders of sovereign citizens. Now they've gained over again, well, that was the plan in the beginning. Like it says, like in Habakkuk, it says that they take basically, who enlarges this desires of.
It says, and a false abomination is not good.
Well, read that precept
That's all
again.
false balance. Like
Yeah,
that.
read that again.
Proverbs 20 and 23 says, diverse weights are an abomination unto the Lord.
Yep, diverse weights is an abomination unto the Lord. And that's what this is. That's exactly what it is. They ain't had no steady, like, when you, back in the ancient world, when we were selling our product, the value of it never changed.
Right.
See, the value of Esau's dollar, it changes, it fluctuates, it goes up, it goes down. That's
That's
what
the
brings
law.
in the inflation, and yeah, it fucks the system up.
That's why you have
Usury, that's why you have usury. So these weights that Esau's putting into the system is unjust, and it ain't got balance to it. That's why he was bringing out about the stable coin. It's like about the Bitcoin, it said the Bitcoin does not have a steady value because everything is all over the place. Yeah, this is why America is Babylon. Babylon means confusion. Everything is confused here. Sit in the dust, oh daughter of read that real quick. Get that, because that's what's happening when these economic people are going over the paperwork, going over the paper sheet. It's like they're confused about what's going on. Why is the system like this? Why? How can we make it better? Then you made mention of we will heal Babylon. Well, when they're trying to heal Babylon through the CBDC, they're actually hurting Babylon because ultimately everything is an unjust balance. And it's really, everything is just digital. It's really not real. This is all fake. It's a fake sense of money, just like with the dollar. It's all fake.
So we go from the, yeah.
Said for years we've already had digital currency.
Right.
Wire transfer.
You already have digital currency through wire transfers. But the point of it, all roads lead to the charagma because they want that technology system on the microchip. That's the means of controlling everything. So is that it on that?
Real quick, so I can.
We got just balances, just weights.
Yeah, it says, and a false balance is not good.
Yep, and a false balance is not good. Go ahead.
This Leviticus 19:36. It says just balances, just weights. All right. It says a just. Salakia. Verse 35. Leviticus 19 and 35. Leviticus. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meat yard, in weight, or in measure. Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin shall ye have. I am the Lord Yahweh, your power, which brought you out of the land of Egypt. Now, when you look at the history of money in the Western society, ever since Jekyll Island, 1910, all the way leading up to 1933 when they took the gold standard out, and then 1965, where I know with JFK.
I know it was 60, so he died in 63, so 2060.
64,
Yeah.
Well, the part of the reason why he got assassinated because I believe he wanted to go back to the gold standard, the silver
The
standard.
green,
Green X,
the
yeah.
green, yeah.
So they took the standards out, so they took the just weight out,
You took the weights out.
you see? And that's, the society has been going downhill from there. Putting people in debt, making people debt slaves,
Yep.
that allows the interest rate on the usury, or the usury rate to go up. They can charge whatever they want.
Well, where's that precept where it says that they throw their silver in the streets?
Oh, yeah,
I'm actually looking for that.
I got one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Deuteronomy 25:13, it says, "Thou shalt not have in thy bag diverse weights, a great and a small." What you deal with Esau, he got a great
I got
diverse
it.
weights. This shit is insurmountable. You can't even put a number to it, you know? He's committed so much fraud, you know?
Well, I'm gonna read this real quick because it's basically what's being worked. I read this earlier in how the white folk got so rich, which brother showed it. You still see it? But the very first page says, working hard or hardly working. It says, observe the operations of the white man. He is successful. He makes no excuses for his failures. He works hard in a collective manner. You do the same. And this was by Elijah Muhammad. But it says, American white supremacy sits tenuously on a rickety scaffold of myths, lies, and deceptions. But its physical reality sits firmly on a rock-solid economic foundation. So with this fake, not real, stuff, this man has managed a way to make everything real. That's part of
Like legitimizes.
yeah,
it.
that's part of an unjust weight and balance. Because you're working, you're factoring in shit that ain't real and making it real. The cryptocurrency, digital currency is not real. It's just numbers in a system. All right, and then what are you going to do when it's not backed by anything physical? All right, you're not trying to use gold to be the commodity that you use to
Trade.
to make that the backing. All right, so and again, that raises the question: why are you inserting behavior as the backing of cryptocurrency and digital banking?
With the social credit system.
Right,
Because like you were saying, absolute control.
right.
I got that for you.
What about that one with the silver and gold? Did y'all find?
Yeah, I got it.
Ezekiel 7,
It's on-
7:19. Well, go ahead. You got something else?
It was just a point he was bringing out with the social credit system.
Go ahead, you got it, you
This
got it.
article.
Oh, yeah, because we were talking about, with the social credit system, there's gonna be punishments and reward. There's gonna be consequences to how what you make interacting with society, and they're gonna penalize you, and it's gonna directly impact what you make for a living, an earning. All right,
Yeah, and they were mentioning that China is already,
they're already doing it.
they've been doing it, I think since
Right.
2015 or something.
So if you have an opinion that's coming against what society is trying to push, they're gonna penalize you and hinder you from making money to live.
Yeah,
They're gonna confine you to your house.
yeah, same way, still like the same way with the C-Hip. Like, when everybody get the C-Hip, you go against what they, go against the policies, go against the devices and shit, they're gonna cut your shit off.
They're gonna lock the device to where you can't get
Can't
into
get you-
the grocery store,
Exactly.
Yeah, so if you try to walk through, it'll give off a signal
Yeah.
that you ain't supposed to be here.
Minority report.
Minority
Yeah.
report.
Yep,
Or demolition man.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
yep, go ahead.
So this is a social credit system, and it's, this,
You can actually read where the orange thing started.
okay.
Yeah, with the orange, possibly.
Right here, yeah. So, the reward and punishment of the social credit system. It says, according to the Chinese government's 2015 plan for implementation, the social credit system was due to be fully implemented by 2020. It says, once implemented, the system will manage the rewards and punishments for businesses, institutions, and individuals on the basis of their economic and personal behavior. Punishments for poor social credit include increased audits, all right, and government inspections. For businesses, reduce employment prospects, travel bans, so you can't get certain jobs. We talked about that earlier. Travel bans, you can't go to certain places.
Which we saw a test run of this. We already know, man, the Savage at 19.
Yeah,
They'll censor
the
it.
pandemic,
Yeah.
the demic.
But we saw that was a test run, and they even the elites and these people on these forums, they admitted that was a test run. All right.
And it's ironic, they fully implemented the social credit system right before the pandemic in China. So that was all orchestrated so they can reward, will hand out those reward and punishments during those really stressful times.
Well, in Sweden, when the whole pandemic was going on, they had put it on the news that there was nobody who was masked, but they said it was because they were all C-dipped,
Yeah.
you know? So that was the reward. You give in to this, you know, what we're trying to require.
Mhm.
All right, now you ain't gonna wear no mask. Now you can sit freely drinking your coffee at Starbucks now, you know?
Yeah, that's gonna be this right here, real quick. Precept. Because ultimately it's gonna be for your destruction. Real quick, this is if you comply.
What is that, Revelation 18?
No, Isaiah 30.
Oh,
This is Isaiah, because what's gonna happen is Esau is gonna make this. He's gonna make the world more harder. So what they're doing is they're setting up a system that's appeasable and pleasable. Because remember, Claude, whatever the fuck his name is,
Schwab.
2020, when he first brought out about the Industrial Revolution, he said that it's gonna get worse out here.
Yeah.
So they already setting up the stage for after things collapse.
Yeah, post, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're setting up so when riots happen, they already predicted the bank runs. They already predicted these things that was going to take place. That the financial system is going to collapse. They already been speaking about this. General Salente and all the Max Kaiser, they already been saying we're finna go into a stagnation, a depression, and so on and so forth. Before this club dude came about. Years ago. So what's happening is they're setting the stage for when things get corrupt here, chaos here, then here's the system that we already had set up for you guys, you know, that you could run to. Here's your safe net.
It's gonna mirror cycles.
Yeah, here's your safe net. And that's in this book. And I always make mention of this book. The Protocols to Learn Habits of Zion. They're gonna break down the society to the point where the faithful, the faithless is gonna run to Esau for the help. You know, run to the image, run to his mark. So this Isaiah 31, it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that may add sin to sin." So what's happening is Jake is gonna run to Esau for aid and assistance. It's gonna be through the C-HIP. It's gonna be through the C-HIP, which is backed up and powered by the CBDC. You know.
Yeah, it's bad enough they ain't calling on the name of the Lord, but then you're gonna run to the devil of all people. So that's the sin upon sin with iniquity.
Isn't that in Isaiah 31 where it says that they trust in the horses and all that, but they put out their trust in the Holy One of Israel?
Yep, and that's the next verse, the next chapter.
Oh, okay.
So it says, "And that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit." See, we're giving a counsel on why you shouldn't take the C-HIP. We're giving the counsel on what this. A counsel is what? What is a counsel?
When you come together,
Like collective information.
because another word for counsel is like secrecy, but when you come together and when you delegate.
Right. So, all right. This counsel is about the upcoming new agenda of Esau. We're giving you the agenda of Esau. Your life is going to be ruined if you take that C-HIP. If you go with the now what's happening? The CBDC is basically like the image. You know, you can kind of say like it's the image of the beast. It's going to be this is like the part of the system, and a precursor. So if you're down with this image or you're down with the CBDC, this is going to be you're going to get penalized for it. You know, but it says that walk to go down into Egypt, which you go down to America, take their gifts. The C-HIP is going to be in the form of a gift. This is going to be the gift to the world because the world is so bad right now.
Plus, they're gonna use different athletes, different
Yeah, get everybody to
Public figures.
get public figures to go along with it. Yep.
yeah,
That's
different
what
celebrities.
influence.
Yep.
Yeah.
It says that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. So they're going to trust in the protection of Egypt because that's what a shadow is. The shadow is to protect you from the heat, the sun, right? So if you run up underneath a tree that gives shade, that's like you run up under Esau, okay? Because when there's chaos in the street, when there's pestilences, all right, they're gonna have this C-HIP right there for you. This is gonna be able to track your health, track your whereabouts, track your money because you don't want your money to be stolen, so on and so forth. You know,
Gonna be running to Esau for protection.
that's what the shadow is about.
Yep.
Trusting in the shadow of Egypt, I mean trusting in this the lifestyle or the image of the beast. Okay? Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
Because the shame part is you're gonna look like a fool when you run to that device.
And they gonna trap you in on every little thing you do.
Yeah.
See, you niggas like y'all. See, this is a false mindset of freedom.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, Esau. See, you Jake thinking y'all free, so y'all gonna get this. So we can do what we want. We can have everything. Nobody can hack our shit. You know, we can go do what we want to do. We can be what you know.
That Esau knows what the people want. They want freedom, but Esau can't give that. But he's gonna put it like the scripture said, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices.
Right.
It's like when you said, if you take this chip, man, your life is gonna be ruined. It's not what you think. It's not what you think it's gonna be. Once you take that device, man.
This is slavery.
I
Yeah.
gotta appreciate
This is
that.
putting everybody in slavery.
Yeah.
This digital system is gonna put the world in slavery.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one thing too is that Esau knows that there's another entity out there that has a reward and an outcome to you as well if you take this as well. See, this is the ultimate devil, man. His intention is to kill you one way or another. Because if you take the seed, we already know, like the scriptures say in Revelation, if you take the mark of that man, you're going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire.
Revelation 14.
Yeah.
14:9.
The dregs of the cup, yeah.
This is 2 Ezra 16 and 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle. Because what the brother's going into is leading up to this, to the martial law, to the chaos out of order.
Right.
Order out of chaos.
Chaos.
You know,
Order
it
out
said,
of chaos.
like he said, they're gonna have it ready
Yeah.
for you. All right. So it says.
Well, this even goes into having the not upright spirit, because Esau has a demented form of God complex. All right, so he's more like like how the Lord looks at Israel not being thankful for everything. Esau's doing the same thing. Like, I'm getting you fat, I'm giving you pleasure, letting you do what you want to do, but you ain't thanking me for it. So he's going to come in with that device, and that's going to be the form. That's a demented form of submission to him. All right, so the burning wrath. He's mad that y'all ain't bowing down right now, so he's going to make a way. Like, look, bitch, bow down.
Yeah. It says, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idol. And being idle is essentially not being able to move. It's like you're a statue, because they got it set up to where they're gonna detain those who don't want to be part of the beast system. All right, and that goes into Revelations 13:17. Those that get put to death if they didn't consent and take the mark.
Yeah, again, like confining you to your house. They even had during the whole pandemic, they had, at one point in time, there was a report where someone was trying to leave their house and they ended up setting cops up around the house to keep them in because they weren't trying to go out with a mask. So,
Yeah.
well, that's what we were talking about yesterday, the implementation of the police force and all that. All right, the martial law state and all that. That's what's going to help bring in the troops.
Yeah.
All right, to keep you in your house or to take you out of your house.
Yeah.
All right.
And what's going to really propel it is natural disasters or calamities. So whether they be generated or not, that's going to help propel them into relocating people, detaining people, because they got to keep the situation in control. So it says, verse 69, it says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision. And that's what the brother was going into. People are going to be, they're going to consent unto this way of living and this standard, but they're going to be had in derision.
And then you can't walk 50 goddamn yards at a certain period of time. All right. Then you can't buy milk, rice, and oatmeal. You gotta just buy the oatmeal and the rice right now. You gotta get the milk 3 days later. There's gonna be a cutoff point on what money you can spend, when you can spend it, how you can spend it, and where you can spend it.
Yeah, they mentioned that in the forum as well, in the panel about, do you really want to be tracked about how many hamburgers you've eaten throughout the week?
That's the transgression of his one, because what you're talking about is the global warming agenda, and they going to decarbonization.
Yep.
and limiting people's carbon output in the earth. Because the ploy is that we want to make the earth a better place. We want to heal the earth, but you know, we want everybody to drive electric cars. But to make a battery, it takes more energy to make a battery than to use the conventional gasoline. You know, so it says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision, all right, and in reproach, you see, and trodden underfoot. So even if you take, you know, go, say if you side with the devil, you falling into that trap. The scripture talk about the wiles of the devil, you know.
Tricks.
Hey, and one thing too, I haven't said this lately, but remember that this RFID technology that they've created already, that they're getting ready to push, they've mentioned that it has the explosive power of a hand grenade. What is the use for that? Yeah, that little grain of rice chip is going to have the explosive power of a hand grenade.
Yeah, because they show you Hardwire. You remember that?
Oh, yeah. I remember Hardwire.
With Cuba Gooding Jr.
Cuba Gooding
Yeah,
Jr.
that was my movie. I was
That was
watching
if they didn't conform.
your head gonna
And a
play
blow-
slam.
blow-
Y'all remember Mission Impossible 3?
Suicide Squad.
Y'all seen Mission Impossible 3 when they rescued the chick out there?
Oh, yeah.
And she was about to tell them some information that she found out, and then that fucking, the chip that was in her head exploded, or, yeah, you know, she went down and died.
Yeah, it was crazy.
They were sending out a signal, which that's part of Esau's weaponry too, man. There's already reports of certain, you know, what do they call it, like disbursement weapons, like the riot shield, you can put
Yeah.
off a pulse that can bug you out and make you stop in your tracks.
Yeah, they're gonna do that to them celebrities.
Yeah, the RFID has the same capability.
This is why I got a precept coming. This is on Revelations 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because you know that he have but a short time." The Lord, hey, look, this devil Esau, man, he got a short period of time, a short measure. Goes back to the Greek word kurios. All right, a short measure. This is the reason why he's bringing out these
Draconian laws.
draconian laws, these different, these different decrees, unrighteous decrees, man. That's why you have a short time to rule on this earth, man. All right.
It was with I can't remember, was his name Draco? It was Draco, right? Something Draco.
Yeah.
From the draconian laws, but behind that, it was actually said that the laws would be made on rock tablets or slates, and they'd be posted up in the middle of the city, and it was to where like it didn't matter if you had ever read it or not, it was implemented, and if you didn't know, oh well, that's the same way that they run America.
Yeah.
Well, I pulled you over because you crossed the lane or going under the light to another lane. I got stopped there.
Oh yeah, you didn't.
That's why I
turn.
never cross a lane over on the lane while going through a light at an intersection. You can get a ticket. That's some weird shit.
And you gotta turn into the
Yeah.
closest lane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like they don't care. But this is the same way because the draconian laws went back to like excessive harsh measures or what do you call it? Punishments
Yeah.
for breaking the law. Actually, with draconian laws, it was actually every law, the punishment for every transgression of their laws that they implemented was death. All right? Yeah, capital punishment. So, which we're going to get here in a minute because this is actually the whole point of the lesson was Revelation 13-17. That's what's going to be the punishment for this. If you don't submit and bow down to the next decree, which is going to take the RFID chip, then it's going to be death that you're going to have to pay. All right?
And you think the devil playing? You're not.
I'm sorry, let me read it, since y'all speaking about it, let me just read it so we won't keep talking. Draconian, it says, of relating to or a characteristic of Draco, or the severe code of laws held to have been framed by him. It says, Draconian comes from Draco, the name of a 7th century BC Athenian legislator who created a written code of law. Draco's code was intended to clarify existing laws, but its severity is what made it really memorable. According to the code, even minor offenses were punishable by death, and failure to pay one's debts could result in slavery. So really, they can get anybody because we're all up in debt.
Yeah.
Under the UCC creditor, we all in debt. As a result, like let's say if you owe child support, you in debt. If you owe back pay of child support through draconian law measures, they can put you in slavery. You know, which is their slavery ain't gonna be shackles, but their slavery is gonna be slaves to the system.
Perpetual servitude.
A perpetual servitude. You can't do nothing. It says because associated with especially authoritative actions that are viewed as cruel or harsh. So that's draconian. That's why the dragon that goes back to draconian, which is the beast system. This goes back to Rome. This is Rome all over again. You know.
Yeah, because a beast is like a savage.
Yep.
And that's essentially what Esau's system is. Savage.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is,
You got anything on the digital system? Like a document?
I still got that,
We have it in the chat.
the rewards and punishments for the social credit
You
system.
got my phone, so I can pull it up.
Okay, I got some. So let's read a couple of information on the digital. But go ahead, Arash. Go ahead, you got it.
Now this is from the Wikipedia, dystopia, because that's what's generally being described here as a dystopian society,
Mm-hmm.
which this is where the world's heading towards. That's what the New World Order is about, dystopia, where the government has total control. So it says a dystopia from ancient Greek, meaning bad, place. It says alternately, kakatopia, or anti-utopia, is a community or society that is undesirable or frightening. It is also treated as an antonym of utopia, a term that is coined by Sir Thomas More and figures as the title of his best-known work, which created a blueprint for an ideal society. Now it says dystopias are often characterized by fear of distress, tyrannical governance, environmental disaster, or other characteristics associated with a cataclysmic decline in society.
Well, that's what we've been seeing the last few years. Calamity, disease, and train derailments, poison seeping into the water, to the air. So you got those elements in that society right now as we speak.
Yeah.
For the vision shall not, it shall speak.
It's
and
just
not
not
lie.
lie, that's right.
Really, it's been staring us right in front of our face. America. America means bitter. An unpleasant encounter or situation. So,
It says themes typical of a dystopian society include complete control over the people in a society through the use of propaganda, which we see on the news media and on social media every day.
That's witchcraft.
Cancel culture too.
Yeah, that's witchcraft.
It says heavy censoring of information or denial of free thought, worshiping an unattainable goal. It sounds like Instagram. It sounds like
It's like the women chasing it.
it sounds like the alphabet people. You know.
Yeah.
You know. So what this is describing is,
Oh,
is
shit,
the
I know
world
that.
as we speak right now.
Exactly.
You know.
Because they just
Shalom,
canceled,
Mike.
well, they've been canceling people.
Yeah, you got the propaganda, you got the cancer culture, you have everybody trying to attain an unattainable goal. You know, social media. It says
They call them the leftists, extreme leftism or some shit like
It says, the complete loss of individuality, the heavy enforcement of conformity.
that. And what, see, the heavy enforcement of conformity, and then you have that with the LGBTQA, and they're forcing people to live their standard, and to accept their standard, and what they don't understand is, LGBTQA rights is nothing but a Trojan horse to bring in the draconian laws. So that's just another ploy that they're using to actually take everybody's rights away. Yeah, the moles and the bows.
That's all I wanted to read in there. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, real quick, let me read this a little bit, and brother just put out precepts. But going out to this whole digital. In order to get digital, you got to take out the cash, and you have countries that's already down with the cashless society. This is what we've been speaking about for years, beginning with the Apostle Great Millstone, is that they're trying to switch everything to become digital. I mean, they're trying to sooner or later this place is going to be a cashless society. A cashless society is exactly what it is. No more paper dollar. Okay. Now, I brought up earlier concerning the Jekyll Island, and was it 1910? And what did they do in Jekyll Island?
They essentially got all the top guys, I could look it up, together to devise a plan, an economic plan
For the Federal Reserve.
for the Federal Reserve.
For the Federal Reserve.
They created the Federal Reserve.
They created the Federal Reserve, okay? They did it secretly. They created the Federal Reserve secretly. So when the crash happened in 1930,
Yeah.
what is it,
33.
1933,
The financial crash?
the financial
Oh, was
crash.
it 1920s? Yeah.
1920, right.
Right after the war.
Right after the war, right.
1926.
Right. And that's when, because before you had the paper dollars with what? It was a gold standard.
Yeah.
Meaning you can go and transfer it by the proper value. You
Yeah.
can get the money and transfer it by the proper value.
Get your gold back.
Will get your gold back. Now that's taken up out of the equation and everything is set up through the fiat currency. Now the fiat currency was bound to drown. It was already meant in the future to collapse. Okay, and this is what we're seeing right now with the cash collapsing and going down and things like that, which is going to bring in a new digital age. That's why they brought out the Kyle Schwab's dude for a brief moment and then they withdrew him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not all on TV and shit like that no more like he was. He was there for a couple of months. He said what the agenda was, and they drew his ass back. That's the tenacracy. Tenacracy is when they set up heads of science and technology. When they came in through the World Economic Forum, their premise was science and technology. That's the new age that we're about to approach. Okay.
Because people still think we live in a democracy.
Yeah, no. This is slowly approaching to a technocratic government system,
Dictatorship.
a dictatorship. Okay, and that's the same thing as those people at the Hunger Games. They weren't no politicians. They were people. People chose who were down for science and technology.
That's it.
They wasn't like Biden and them niggas. They gonna get pushed out the way. You know what I'm saying? The politicians, the senators, they're gonna get pushed out the way, and they're gonna set up these really warlocks.
Yeah, that's it.
Because the ones that deal with the science and technology, those are the ones that do the alchemy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and all that
Yeah.
shit. So really, the leaders, the top people are gonna be those warlocks that's gonna be setting the standard of the world.
It's funny because I was watching G.I. Joe the other day, and Clover, what's his name? Cobra.
Mhm.
Yeah, they set up the puppet leader the whole time. They was using him to bring in an agenda. But it goes to what you said.
Yeah, so I'm gonna read this about cashless society. It says, as digital currencies become more popular, could we be seeing the end of cash? It is not no coincidence that 3 major banks collapsed right in the midst of the CBDC propaganda, okay? So people can lose their hope in the banks. That was the agenda, to lose hope in the banks, okay?
It's just like the depression you just mentioned. The depression came first, then they took the gold out.
Exactly. It was already a system planned. So it says Sweden, Brazil, and China are among a handful of countries seeing an increasingly cashless society with the digitalization of money. Somebody get Revelation 13. This is where this plays in. We've been speaking about buying and selling. How are we going to buy and sell in the near future if we have no cash? We're going to buy and sell by the way of the charagma. That's the chip. That's the stone implanted, so to speak. Okay, is the chip.
Well, they call it Corner Solutions on the panel,
Yeah.
which if you want to look it up, Corner Solutions.
Do you know exactly where it's at in the video? No.
No, but Corner Solutions is it said it was used for mathematics, but where the chooser the chooser decides to be unwilling or unable to do trade-ins or trade-offs or trade-ins. So with this technology that we're coming up to, the RFID, it's gonna that's literally the defining of what we're talking about is you're not gonna be the chooser is Esau. He can choose what he can give to you or what he's not gonna give to you based on how you act or behave. So, yeah, it's a lot.
It says, central bank digital currency, CBDC, is inevitable, with 90% of central banks developing one and the percentage of countries developing or piloting a CBDC having doubled in 1 year. It says on November 1976, the ABVA recorded the iconic song Money, 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 which could perhaps serve as the mantra for any monetary economics during today's high inflation. However, the Swedish pop groups Borgia, whatever, triggered by his son's apartment's burglary in 2008, ironically became a forceful advocate for eliminating cash for alternative forms of payment, as he believed that such crimes would not occur in a cashless society. See, that's the pro to the situation. No one can actually come into your house and rob you.
Right.
You see,
Or steal your life.
or steal your identity. You know, it says money, money, money. It says money, 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 but no cash. UBS was not the only Swede worried about security of money, particularly in the mid to the late 2000s after a string of high-profile raids such as September 2009 Vesperga helicopter robbery. As a result, the Swedish government launched marketing and public information campaigns to incentives reduce cash usage. For instance, it launched Swish as a based mobile payment system in cooperation with the central bank. The government also introduced a Cash Register Act in 2010. So everything that they were setting up back then was to play its part today. That's what you call that a machine state. The government also introduced a Cash Register Act in 2010, under which anybody accepting cash as payment had to use an approved cash register and offer the purchaser a receipt. In 2013 and 16, the Riksbank conducted a multi-stage banknote and coin changeover. Because remember, the coin shortage. Remember the coin shortage during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Yep. If you notice, a lot of places too, they won't accept like 50s or 100s now.
Yeah.
You know, pretty soon it's gonna be 20s, or they say if you pay in cash, have the exact change.
Have the exact
Nobody
change.
has 83 cents in their pocket. You
Yep.
know?
Yep.
So yeah, man.
It was really getting people's mind geared to less money, less cash. I gotta have the exact amount. The exact amount. When you do that digital, you don't have to worry about that. You can just put the money. You just put, if you want to get the store. If you want to buy something, you just type in $10
Yeah.
or whatever it was. Or through
They got the phone. Samsung Pay, Apple Pay.
yeah, the Apple Pay. If you owe $15, all you gotta do is type in the system $15 and it'll digitize and they get the $15. You know, so they were slowly making it a nuisance too.
Yeah, frustration,
having
yeah.
a frustration, having cash in your pocket. Damn, I gotta have the exact number here. Just take that.
Yeah,
You know, nope, we want the exact change. Nothing more, nothing less. We want the exact change. That's a nuisance. If it happened over and over and over again, people get annoyed with it. You know? But it says, the impact of these efforts on cash in circulation has been significant. Since 2007, the use of physical cash has constantly declined in Sweden. Cash in circulation represented only 1.1% of gross domestic product, which is the GDP. In 2022, down from 2.6 in 2012. According to a survey by Riksbank from 2010 to 2020, the proportion of people in Sweden who use cash fell from around 40% to less than 10%. So right now today, Sweden is completely cashless. They're completely cashless. Okay, throughout the years they have become cashless. Now they got the chip. They're basically the what you say earlier, the template.
Yeah.
They're the template for society right now.
Pretense.
Yeah.
That's why they hyped Sweden up. Sweden has been the happiest country in the world for like 10 years.
More than that, because they've been had the system. But that was just a trial. Because like a lot of these smart cities is trial runs. You got a lot of smart cities around. Now they're trying to make New York a smart city.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay? So they're digitizing and technology, you know the word, technocraticing the system.
Yeah.
Technology. Everything is going to be about technology.
They converted the system.
Converting the system. Now we've been speaking about this as singularity, man versus machine. Now it's coming to the point where they want to merge human flesh with the technology. That's the
their-
fourth industrial revolution.
That's how Esau transcends, and that's how
That's the transcendence.
somehow this is gonna propel him to immortality.
Yep.
You out your damn mind.
Yep.
You just find out that he's a man and not God.
Yeah. So we see the angle of Esau, man.
Yep.
What it's really about. You know, he's trying to, because even in the panel that we were watching, what was about the digital currency leading to government control, they were mentioning that it would help evolve people,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Yeah, that's what Klaus Schwab was talking about too.
Y'all got anybody got any precepts on
But I got
Go ahead.
Revelations
Go ahead.
13
Okay.
and 17. This is Revelations 13 and 17. You want me to go up? Just start at 15, I'll just hit the point.
Going to it.
Okay, so Revelation 13, 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Now it says what you cause, right?
Okay.
Let me look up that word cause. Revelation what? 15, right?
Yeah, 13, 15.
Revelation 13, verses 15. What time did you show you guys?
It's on 14.
To cause, you can look up in Google to cause, it'll give you, should be to conduct or train to a certain behavior. In Blue Letter, I think it was something different.
Well, to cause in the Greek, it says, it got some pretty good definitions.
Strong's G 4160, Poyeo. Poyeo.
Poeo. It says, with the names of things made to produce, construct, form, fashion, to be the authors of the cause, to make ready, to prepare, to produce, to bear, shoot forth, to acquire, to provide a thing for oneself.
Well, they produce in the system.
Yep. To make a thing out of something. To make, i.e., render one thing. To make, constitute, or appoint one anything. To appoint or ordain one that.
Yeah, we're talking about a technocratic order. The order essentially of the scientists and these people that really are the witchcraft and bringing the spirit of Satan to the world. So it's the ideology that they bring. That's the image of the beast. It's mirrored after another system, which is the Roman Empire.
Well, remember in the Second Thessalonians, it said that the coming of this man, all right, Esau, that, yep, the coming after the working of Satan. So the word coming went into his presence or his what he represented. Okay, so to cause us, and like I said, to prepare. That's why you got all these, fashionly, trends and with the technology. There was something I can't remember what it was called. It's a patch you put on your that these elderly can put on their arm, and you scan it with your phone, and it gives you your blood pressure, your heartbeat. But you have to scan it with your phone. I can't remember what it's called. So it's a lot, but all these new trendy ways of convenience to your health. And that's how it started too, back in like 2000 and like 2009. I was going to college, and they had with Obama and everything, he was talking about healthcare. That they were trying to work that device, the RFID, with that. It started with the health. That goes back to this goes even back to Yahushua when he was healing. Salaki, not to get off the point, but Yahushua was saying that health be whole. Esau thinks or that's what the word health goes into, to being made whole. Esau thinks it's going to make you whole when when you take that device, when you take the chip, all right, when you submit and bow down to his image, he believes that that's what's gonna make you whole, complete. This is gonna make you healthy, all right? But we even know, what does it go with the what is it, Revelations, about the chip causing cancer? Can't remember what that was.
Oh,
Sores. It says that they're gonna be getting sores, Revelation
They did,
14.
but it's really not, so, yeah.
And he knows it, he knows it.
Yep.
So verse 16. Oh,
Go ahead, read it again. You got
I
it.
gotta read verse 15 again. Okay, it says verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that.
Yeah, so through his system, he's given power to give life into this image
Yeah.
by their laws, by their codes, by breaking down the system. This is him giving, he's giving life into it.
Right.
He's actually making it, he's giving it the life by breaking down the society, taking out the dollar, making it a caste societies, and formulating into this new system that he wants to be set up. Go ahead.
That's one of his main decrees.
It says, and cause that as many, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Yeah, and that kill goes into what? To being separated.
Yep.
Okay?
Also, yeah.
Which goes back now with that whole kill. Let me get it real quick just to read it. That being killed goes back to the social credit system.
Yeah.
Because they can block you off and cut you off from anything that you do against them.
Yeah, that was where Elias Romo brought it out. That's where it means that John the Revelator actually saw social distancing in this vision.
Yeah, he's seen you being cut off from society.
Yep.
That's what he's seen. It's just like in Demolition Man when the bums
Come from the
came from the sewers and grabbed what they could from Taco Bell, and then they went back. You was cut off from society because you didn't have the chip. You didn't have, you wasn't a part of the B system, so you was cut off. So it ain't necessarily that everybody's gonna just get flat out killed.
Right.
No, there's gonna be people that's gonna say fuck the system, and then they're gonna be out and they're gonna have to fend for themselves. Majority of people is gonna get it, and it's gonna be those that are the hopeful elect, and maybe some other stragglers around who been the preppers and things like that, doomsday preppers, and they may live for a little bit, but eventually a lot of people is gonna take this thing. But going back to Revelation, it say to be killed, should be killed. It's going to that word killed.
Strong's G
Nah.
2443, Hina.
All right, so let's go into the root to the word hina. Okay, should be killed. Come on.
What is it, Texas Avenue?
About 3 minutes.
Oh, what time is it?
30 minutes.
No, I said 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
4:50.
He leaves at 4:50.
yeah, I know exactly where that killed is at, because I went into the root and ain't going to kill.
Hold on, I got you.
I put, it said should kill, should be killed. Oh, you know what? I think it's the bottom, that's the other one. Apokitino.
Strong's G 615, Apoctino.
This is it.
Apoctino.
Apokitino. Now all of these go into being killed, but let's go into that root word there. And it says, of separation, a local separation after verbs or motion from a place, i.e. of departing or fleeing, of separation of a part from a whole, of any kind of separation of one thing from another by which the union or fellowship of the two is destroyed. Right, we're not a part of the system, we're not a part of society.
So breaking the union.
Breaking the union between the image of the beast, breaking away from society basically.
Yeah.
But which goes into the social credit system, because if you do anything against the government, you'll be penalized. You'll be punished.
Cast away from
You'll-
society.
Yeah, cast away. So go ahead, finish that up.
All right, so it says verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
Yeah, that mark goes to what? The mark is the charagma, which goes to that device that's gonna be implanted in you. Okay, and it's gonna be all digital. All right, it's just like that innovative commercial back in 2007. I think that innovative commercial, what it do was walking through the store, the IBM, right? The IBM innovation commercial. He was just walking casually through the store and picking up items, and he walked casually out, and the dude said, "You forgot your."
Yes, the security
It
guard.
had to be on some suspicion as if he was stealing, but he wasn't stealing. It was just all digital, just picking up everything,
Put in his coat, yeah.
putting everything in his coat. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get you comfortable.
It was a crafty ass commercial, and at the end of it all, he went through the digitized goddamn payment system, and what happened? He just said, "Oh, you forgot your receipt." You know, it's getting your minds geared through predictive programming on what the society is going to be like soon. Through gradualism.
Parent.
Yep.
Cause.
It say real quick. It says the central bank digital currency (CBDC) are the digital form of a government-issued currency that isn't pegged to a physical commodity, which is what the RFANs. They are issued by central banks whose role is to support financial services for a national government and its commercial banking system, set monetary policy, and issue currency. All right. So the CBDC is about making transaction payments. So when we go into the scriptures where it speaks about buying and selling, well, we know that there's going to be no money in the system. So how can you buy and sell? All right, the CBDC, which is going to be the premise of the charagma or the RFID chip, that's the system. That's the technology right there. That's the digital. You got it, Doc.
It says, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark.
If you go with the word sell, it means you're not going to be able to do business. You know, you're not going to conduct transactions.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is where those auditors come in. They're gonna be watching your company.
Yep. You're not going to be able to sell. Actually, go into that word sell. If I'm not mistaken, it should go into like Agora or something with.
Like the market.
It goes into something, regarding the market.
paleo
Paleo. What does it say?
means to barter, to sell, sellers.
See, barter,
To
sell.
barter, to sell, sell. Go ahead.
The Strong's definition, it says to be busy, to trade, to barter as a peddler, to sell, whatever is sold.
So that's like you being in the Agora. The Agora is when you
Kinda.
all of the businesses you selling, swap me, you trading, buying and selling at the Agora.
And it makes sense because they gonna create the conditions where they already sabotaging the agriculture, the food, and genetically modifying the food and gearing people to come, to take the new stuff that they got. Because they're gonna have control over all of it. You ain't gonna be able to grow anything, because of the soil gonna be so bad.
You take debit or credit, I'll take the chip.
It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Yep.
Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast.
Right.
For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
That's the number of a man. That means that there's going to be people passing this thing up. You know, it's not an imaginary dragon you can see. It's not, Satan's not gonna come out of the depths of the hill and then proclaim he the Antichrist.
It's that white boy.
Yeah, right.
That's who gonna be pushing this shit.
Yep.
All right.
That's
And it's
the-
evident. You can see who the fuck setting up the system.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I'm saying, man, you
That's
can't.
the
And when you watch those financial shows, it be all other nations too though.
Yeah.
It be fucking Elon being that motherfucker, chilling.
Elon,
Moab and Moab, goofy face ass always up in there. Moab, Elam, alright?
Yeah.
Ham is these different nations, they all about it. It's just Esau is the head of it,
Ringleader.
you know?
Trying to get everybody to go.
That's the number of the man. That's his ass.
Go ahead.
So,
Go ahead, whatever you got.
well, this is from.
We gonna end it off in a minute, in like 2 minutes really.
Well, this is
Cause my
from.
brother gotta get to the train station.
This is from the old goodie, old book, Saint Angels Exposed.
Oh yeah.
And this is, I got the PDF.
Just don't know.
But this is on page 184, entitled "The Money Manipulators, Greed and Power." Now I'm gonna start from the bottom, starting from the first point that I made earlier about the Federal Reserve Act. So it says both Teddy Roosevelt and Woodrow Wilson had the wide support of Wall Street. Wilson became president, and the Federal Reserve Act was passed by Congress on December 22nd, 1913. It says the Federal Reserve System influences the flow of credit and money in the United States. All national banks, by law, are required to belong to the Federal Reserve System. The system consists of 12 national banks. The Federal Reserve Board of Governors consists of 7 members appointed by the President of the United States. Each member serves 14 years. The most important Federal Reserve Bank of the 12 is the New York branch, and that's where you get the international stock market. So this is chronicalizing the system that's been created to be intertwined. So when one bank goes down, they all go down. So this was a system that was never meant to be, never meant to have longevity. It says, the international bankers use the Federal Reserve as their whipping boy to achieve their power-hungry aims. Howard J. Ruff, an economic analyst, sees in the near future, number 1, exploding inflation. Number 2, price controls. Number 3, erosion of your savings accounts.
That's what's happening now.
Number 4, a collapse of private as well as government pension programs. So Social Security, disability.
You're talking about the debt ceiling,
Mhm.
taking people's retirement money.
It says, number 5, vastly more government regulation to control your life. Number 6, an international monetary holocaust, which will sweep all paper currency down the drain and turn the world upside down.
And people going riding, for example. People going riding
Yeah, that's where you get your bank runs.
And with these bank runs, what's gonna happen is when it gets to a higher scale, Esau, Jake, whoever, the citizens, so to speak, is gonna be attacking the politicians because they're gonna blame them.
Like,
That's what a chaos. The chaos is gonna come from that. A part of the chaos is gonna come from that. So if let's say another 20, because back in 2008, 9, I forget, it was like the early 2000s. There was multiple bank runs. There was multiple collapsings of banks.
yeah,
Okay,
like 8, 9. 'Cause they
I
had
can't remember exactly how many, but it was a lot.
That's why you had to occupy Wall Street, right?
That's what the Occupy Wall Street thing started about. The 1% against the 99%. People are gonna start back getting into that spirit of rioting again.
Yeah.
You know, going down to the White House or going down to this place or that place or whatever it may
So
be.
the uproars of the people.
That's what the uproars of the people is. So they're gonna say, look, okay, we have a better system for you. They're gonna pacify
When
you.
they gonna calm their ass down.
We got a better system. That's the Isaiah 30. We got a better system.
Yep.
Okay. But real quick, before you finish that, I just want to bring some precepts
I
out.
was done, but I had a precept to go with it.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Isaiah 36:6. It says, "Lo, thou trust in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt." And you go into that word reed, in the Hebrew, that reed means a beam or a staff. And that's exactly the same tool when you go into the Latin word for reed is canuta, which is a beam or a stalk used to pierce. And what is the tool used to use a stalk or a beam to pierce your skin? The microchip then. You know, that's gonna be the end all be all. But it says, wherein if a man leans, it will go into his hand and pierce it. And that's the self-identifier right there. It says, So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him? You know, and it's talking about Pharaoh king of Egypt being a broken reed because it's something that is not going to stand up, not physically, economically, or to the Most High. You know, but that's it.
He has to go. We were about to end anyway, but.
I was gonna read that Michael 2.
I got you.
Come.
Let me grab that.
Are you over?
This is Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Oh, no, sorry. Yep. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
They formulate they hatch these schemes and these traps to trap up the people. Right?
It says, when the morning is light, they practice it.
So this is going to be an idea that's actually going to be pushed. It's going to actually happen. What was that word we were talking about earlier? The phenomenon. They called it the
Phenomenon.
they called it the CBDC phenomenon. Which when you look at that word, a phenomenon goes to something that's already existing to happen. Shoot, I can't. But it's under. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a phenomenon. It says, a fact or situation that is observed to exist or happen, especially one whose cause, or whose cause or explanation is in question.
Right. So it's already a fact. A fact that's already existing that already happened. We already just told you the chip, RFID chip, cryptocurrency, all that digital currency has already been an idea and a thing that's been in motion for the longest time. You know, at one point in time they called it a conspiracy, but a conspiracy, even the definition of a conspiracy is something usually of an evil intent that's already been pushed out. All right, so they call it the CBD phenomenon. So the topic is already it's already been produced. They're just questioning it now. So that's like with the pandemic again, they already had the stab and jabs made when this shit happened. So again, they have the system already prepared. So when chaos happens, they're gonna be able to present it to you already.
Yep.
All right. So even though the devil has a short time, he's already been having these things already prepared for us. So that's that woe to them that devise iniquity. Okay.
It says, because when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away.
Isn't that what the World Economic Forum was talking about? Taking all your resources, taking everything away. And they said you ain't gonna have nothing, but you're gonna be happy about it.
That's Esau's Moses. This is in Moses Zachariah. He's been doing that. He's been doing that throughout the ages, especially this one. But now it's like this. This is his last move, so to speak, his last stand, and he's gonna do it all over again. But it's gonna be, pretty much. It's gonna be the worst ever.
And when you said he's been doing it more so even now. Well, during the pandemic, they'd been bleeding the fiat currency, or they were talking about resetting the fiat currency. So they even had videos about, well, how would you reset the fiat currency without people getting alarmed? Why would offset some type of disaster or pandemic to distract the people with, confine them to their homes, and then bleed the economy out by giving a mass amount of money to the people. That's exactly what they did. That's
Global
exactly what they
governance
did.
2026.
Yeah. So to say that this ain't even a real idea, or that this is just a talk of speculation, they already did this. They already pushed forth the steps. They already completed them. So this is already in motion. It's been in motion.
Yeah, I know the guy that was on the panel, the old bald guy that looked like a pinhead.
You call him Hanson.
Yeah, Chris Hansen. But he was talking from a point where, well, if we were to do this, if this was to occur, and he was talking about the stable coin. But I knew he was lying because when we were, partaking in the crypto
Yeah.
surge of 2017.
Some years back.
They already created something that was a stable coin that was a 1-for-1 exchange of a dollar. It's called US dollar coin.
Yep.
You know, and they have various other stable coins that they're going to try to create to transfer money value to different coins overseas, like they have in money exchanges now with dollars and yuans and dollars and rubles, dollars and pounds. You know, so they already have that lined up. It says, because of it, it's like it says, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
And that's essentially what this devil is doing. What he's gonna do at his peak or at his worst. Yeah, that's why.
Totally different planes of what we've been dealing with to what's gonna happen. You know, the future is gonna become very dark, man. Who said that? Someone said, they said that things are about to get worse. We just mentioned it earlier, but.
Carl Schwab.
Okay, there you go. Things are gonna get worse.
Angrier world.
Yeah, angrier world, yeah, man.
Dystopian.
And there you go, back.
Was it one?
Yeah. It's verse 3. It says, therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil.
So the whole family, Edom, okay, and that cuts people saying that, you know, some Edomites can be saved. The Lord is gonna judge them according to them being the whole nation. He judges nations. So that's,
Well, hey, we didn't bring it out, but again, you know, quoting from Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, about healing Babylon, that device, it's not gonna help, or the device that the Lord has is for them basically just to fall in their own trap. You know, their own scheme they're trying to hatch, it ain't gonna work.
you know, Scripture said he gonna take them in their own ways.
Yes,
or
you know,
something.
he can take it to craftiness, you know,
Wise in it.
yeah, it's a lot, he take it to wise in their own craftiness. So, yeah, we already know that this is not gonna work, because they're trying to put it out as ideas of, this is gonna help reset the economy, it's gonna be a better, more efficient way of, you know, making transaction, all those lies over what they're really intended to do, all right, but it's not gonna help.
It says,
Yeah,
from whence ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil.
yeah, this is all gonna end up in Esau's destruction, man, for what he's doing. Because again, you know, from everything, you know, overviewing what we were speaking about, the unjust weights, the false balances, the oppressing the man in his house, you know, everything we were talking about, this is what Esau is including with this new type of, you know, currency exchange. He's gonna you know, tag your behavior and how you socially interact, you know, what you're doing in your own house, what you're watching. Because they, you know, that's why they have these polls of what networks are being watched the most. That's a what do you call it, a statistic to see who's watching what. So they're already watching you.
Yeah, data analytics is becoming a vastly growing field.
Yeah. You know, that's why you get junk mail, man, because they're watching what you're looking at, and then they'll give you emails about whatever it is you were just looking at, or on your, you know, Etymology Online does it. You know,
these phones are.
they got they got tracking filters now. I did a video about that, man. I had been tracked 14,400 times one day, and I was on the internet for maybe a few minutes. Yeah, I did it because I thought it was cool because it said 14400. Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, so this is why the Lord ultimately is going to do, you know, devise that evil against him, because he's being wicked, right, and being very intrusive, invasive.
Yeah, he ain't supposed to do that. He's not
Yeah.
supposed to number the people.
Yeah, but just
And he's numbering the people to destroy the people. So
Yeah.
it's like outright, he's outright just completely wrong.
Yeah.
And just terrible, just terrible. Kid.
But you know what you gotta do with invasive species? You gotta root them out.
Yeah, the physicians of no value, you know, King, what it is, it says
he
Sirach
always
10.
said, he always says it's hard to search out iniquity.
Yeah.
Because again, going back to that, to the health, you know, this is Esau believes that this is the healthy lifestyle. You know, Biden recently signed a bill to outlaw hate on transmissions, and he says those that do hate on them is borderline sinful. So, you know, it's gonna get to a point where, like, you know, you're coming against them. shit, you can't buy something out today, you know? So, we already seeing the stage being set, man.
Part of the image, man.
Yep, yep, yep.
Jeremiah 51, and we get ahead on this. I like the Jeremiah 51 and let's see, 7. It says, Babylon has been the golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad.
Yeah, even the nations don't sit right with, you know, what America's pushing. Though we know in Revelation 17, it's been given, it's been put into their hearts to give this world to the beast until the words be fulfilled from the Most High. But you know, but now they're crazy, now they mad too.
It's funny you said, it says crazed. Crazed, as in mad as in crazed.
Yeah, because they're drunk, because again, they're going to cut, they're drunk too, man. You know, so they're going along with this.
It's like crazy, man. You know? It says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so, be she may be healed.
Yeah, because this whole new structure that Esau's trying to create to quote unquote make his society better, man. What does it say in Isaiah about the worm being spread under you, man? This place is being destructuralized, man. It's decomposing. Yeah. So this whole way that you're trying to move is gonna ultimately crumble beneath you, suddenly falling. You're gonna be like, what the fuck, how? So,
Yeah. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. All right? That's the big one right there. Because a lot of Israelites, you're going to find yourself in that spirit of conformity because of the times. And it's really outright stupid that these camps, IUIC, ISUBK, are not telling the truth, HOI, concerning the RFID chip being the mark of the beast. It's clearly you're not watching what this devil is doing, and it's clear what he is doing. Okay, and he is on that pathway. You are dealing with the absolute devil. Okay, so it says forsake her, right? So we're supposed to be in the spirit of completely forsaking this place, completely condemning this place, not trying to seek more refuge. We're supposed to be waiting on that sky to crack. We're supposed to be hastening the day of the Lord and really chanting this place down, cursing this place, okay? Because there's nothing we can do with it. There's nothing the Lord can do with it except destroy it, okay? So it says, forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. And there's nations that actually leave, people that can see this happening, and they're fleeing America.
they going back to their own country.
Spirit, in the spirit, they see certain things happening, and they're like, oh,
It wasn't, yeah, because they all think it's for their, again, that best intention, like, this is not what it's for, man. It was never in their best intention to settle here in this place, man. This was not our rest. This ain't the end all be all, you know, it's catch you up and kill you, man.
that's it. Catch you, kids.
Yep.
And with that, we're done, pretty much.
All right, well, with that, we're gonna give all glory, praise, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash.
that wants the apostles, the comes the great millstone only, and peace and salutation, honors and blessings to the 144,000 and 1/3 that remain sincere. They with that, yeah,
Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.